Hey guys, it's Alexis, aka The Sloth Reader, and I'm here today to do my May review. So, at the end of every month I do a review, which is basically where I talk about the non-bookish things that I did in the month of May. So the movies I watched, the music I listened to, and the other stuff that I did. So that is what I'm here to do today, so let's go ahead and get right on into it. As usual, the first thing I'm going to start with is the movies I watched this month. And I didn't see any new movies this month, so the only thing I watched were rewatches. The first movie I rewatched was Guardians of the Galaxy. One of my favorite movies, by far probably my favorite movie in the Marvel movie franchise. I just absolutely adore everything about the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I think the cast is phenomenal. I think the CGI is really beautiful. I think the story is really decent. I watched this one in preparation for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I was hoping to see this month, but unfortunately I didn't get a chance to. But I will be seeing it very soon, so super excited to see how the second one measures up to how much I absolutely love the first one. The next two movies I'm going to mention, I watched at the same time, so one right after the other, and that was because Freeform, the channel, was doing like a Disney movie marathon a few weeks ago, and I just sat down and decided to watch a bunch of Disney movies. So the first one I watched was Hercules. You guys know Hercules is one of my all-time favorite Disney movies. I made an entire video basically about my favorite Disney films, which I will link to down below in case you want to go check it out. Yes, absolutely love Hercules. One of my favorite movies. I love the music in it, I love a lot of the humor in it, and I'm a sucker for Greek mythology even when it's all wrong. So really loved Hercules, and I enjoyed getting to watch Hercules when I was like unpacking and moving into my house. The movie that came out immediately after Hercules, which I also watched, was Disney's Tarzan, which I really enjoyed too. It's not necessarily one of my favorites. I still really love all of the music that's in Disney Tarzan, mostly because it's all by Phil Collins, and it's Phil Collins, come on. So I really enjoyed getting to sit down and watch some old school Disney movies from when I was a kid while I was stressed out because of all my moving, so that was fantastic. The next thing I'm going to mention is some of the music I listened to this month. The first two albums go together, which is why I will mention that, and that was that I listened to both Awesome Mix Volume 1 and Awesome Mix Volume 2 from Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. These are basically the soundtrack for each movie, and it plays into the story. The main character from Guardians of the Galaxy, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, has basically like an old cassette tape that his mom made him of her favorite songs from the 70s and 80s, and so that's what's basically these are, is basically just jams from the 70s and 80s, which I love. You guys know I love music from the 70s and 80s. So I listened to both. I re-listened, I should say, to Awesome Mix Volume 1. I've listened to it to a bunch before, and then I listened to Awesome Mix Volume 2, which is from the second movie. Hands down, I think the first one is much better. The first one, in my opinion, has just more songs that I enjoy versus the second one. I still think the second one's a good soundtrack. But yeah, Awesome Mix Volume 1, in my opinion, is a better soundtrack. I just really genuinely just love like every song on that album. And considering I've seen the movie too, like I know how the songs all play into the movie, and that possibly could affect my enjoyment a little bit as well. But yes, I listen to both of those. I still highly recommend them, but I like Awesome Mix Volume 1 a little bit better. The next thing I'm going to mention is actually a musical, I guess you could call them a group I discovered this month through one of my favorite Twitch streamers. She recommended them, and I was like, I'm going to go check them out, and I actually really fell in love with them. And that is I guess it's a DJ called Violence with Monica Martin, who does all the vocals on the soundtrack, and I really like this album. It definitely has kind of like a synth kind of sound to it, which I really enjoy, and I think Monica Martin is a very talented singer. Her voice is very beautiful. It has a very melancholic sound to it. It almost is kind of a little creepy too, which I personally really like. So it's off of their album, which I believe is called Awake and Pretty Much Sober, and I really like the song Spark on it, and I really like the song Fair. Those are my two favorite songs off of that album, but I've been listening to that album pretty much non-stop. over the past month, and I've really enjoyed it, so definitely go give them a listen because it's very good in my opinion. The next group of things I'm going to talk about is all of the Funkos I purchased this month. I bought quite a few. I don't know if you guys want me to do this in this video, or if you guys want me to include this in my book hauls and just lump them together, or if you want me to do Funko haul videos every month when I buy a pretty decent amount of Funkos. I'm not sure, but you guys should let me know, you know, in the comments if you guys have a preference for where I do my Funko hauls basically. But for right now, it's gonna go in here, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first group of Funkos I bought this month were all of the new Overwatch Funkos. Overwatch had done some Funkos, I think last year, and then they had announced that they were doing a new line of Funkos for more of their heroes this year. It was coming out in May. You guys know Overwatch is one of my favorite games. I've talked about that in a video too as well, which I will link to down below in case you're interested to check that out as well. So pretty much when these came out, I fell in love with every single one and was like, I have to own them all. So I got 4 of the new Overwatch Funkos this month, so yes. The first one I got is my new favorite Funko Pop, hands down, and that is the Diva Funko. I love this Funko so much. Diva is one of my favorite characters in Overwatch, and I think that this Funko just does her character such good justice. And what's really cool is that the actual mech like opens up and you can actually take Diva out of her mech, and she's like a little mini like Funko, and then you put her back in the mech and then you like close the lid and she just sits in it, and it's just, this is my new favorite Funko. I absolutely adore it. The next Overwatch Funko I bought was the Mei Funko, which I also really love. I love her glasses. They're just so adorable to me. But yeah, I just think that this is such a very unique looking Funko. And I've kind of talked a little bit before about how I think that Funkos made off of video game characters or cartoon characters are much more successful in my opinion, because the characters are typically a little exaggerated anyway. But I just think the Overwatch Funkos are like on point. The next one I'm going to mention is the McCree Funko, which I absolutely adore. I love that they made his hat like massive. But I also do have to critique both this one and the Mei Funko, that neither of them stand up on their own. They're both a little too top heavy to properly stand up, and the Mei one came with a stand that didn't even fit in like the holes in her feet, and the McCree one doesn't even come with a stand. So as cute as I think they look, I do have to say that they are missing a little bit of functionality because neither of them can stand up on their own. So Funko, can we fix that problem? But overall, I do think he is a supremely cute Funko, and I think that a lot of the detail on this Funko is very nice. The detail on his gun, you can see that he has the robot arm, and you know, the spurs on his boots, and the holes in his cape, and a lot of just the small details in the like front part of him I think is really good, and the little cigarette hanging out of his mouth. I mean, I think the details are all there, it's just he can't stand up on his own, which is a huge disappointment. The last Overwatch Funko I bought this month was the Symmetra one. Again, she is a little too top heavy to stand on her own, but at least this one came with a stand that fits. But I really love the attention to detail again on her Funko. You know, the fact that, you know, her piece has all of the right elements to it, and all of the robotic elements on her work, and she's got, you know, her weapon in her hand, and it's actually functional in a sense, and it comes with a little sentry turret that I thought was just the cutest, and I love it when they come with the little additions because they're so cute. But yes, I love the look of them. Again, it's just that they're making them very top heavy, and they're very hard to stand on their own. The next Funko I'm going to mention buying is the Sakura one from Naruto. I've been on the hunt to try and complete my Team 7 collection. I already have Naruto and Sasuke, so I bought Sakura this month to go ahead and complete that. All I need is Kakashi, which has been very difficult to find, but I am struggling to try and find them. But I love the Sakura Funko. I think it's so badass looking, which is such a good addition to her character, and I love her. The last Funko I'm going to mention, and the most recent one I purchased, I literally just got this one a few days ago. I had to buy it online for a pretty high price comparatively because it was in such high demand, but I had to have it, and I'm so happy I did because it looks so nice. And that is the Geralt Funko from The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. I said last month that I had recently discovered The Witcher 3. I hadn't really known anything about it prior to last month, and I pretty much fell completely in love with it. And I had seen that they had made a Geralt one, and I had to have it. I was like, I will pay for this because I want it. And again, I just think the video game Funkos are just so detailed, and I really love that. I mean, you can see, you know, all of the little details in Geralt's armor. You know, how they really notched every piece of the chainmail. He's got both of his swords. He's got the scars on his face, and just like the detail and just the clothing he wears. You know, they even added his wolf necklace that's for his Witcher school. And it's just like, those are really tiny details that they designed into him, and I think that they're just so nice looking. And so, yes, Geralt has also become one of my new favorite Funko Pops, and I just love him. He looks so nice. Also, I got my brother into buying Funko Pops this month because he knows that I buy them, so he went to some place and he was like, hey, there's this place that has Funko Pops. He was like, we should come here and look at some, and then he was like, hey, I bought some Funko Pops, and I was like... The last category I'm going to talk about is pretty much the events and the things that happened to me this month. So the first one is the pretty much obvious one since I've talked about it a bunch on my channel, and that is that I moved this month. I moved out of Birmingham, where I've currently lived for the past 4 years, and down to where I grew up. This is the little Gulf Coast town I'm from, and moving, guys... Don't move. Moving is such a pain, okay? When you have 5 bookshelves full of this, it took me, like, no kidding, 2 days just to pack up this stuff. And then you have to pack up everything else you own, and then you have to clean everything. Like, it was worth it because, like, I'm excited to, like, be in a new place, like in a new apartment, and I'm excited to be by my parents again. But, guys, moving is the worst. I have moved like 3 or 4 times already in my life, and it's awful. Don't do it. Now with the moving, and I have finally gotten all my bookshelves done, I've been posting pictures on Instagram where you can go and look, but I do plan to have a bookshelf tour up in June sometime, so keep your eye out and peeled for that. The last thing I'm going to mention in this video is that I went to a concert this month, and that was I went to a Ninja Sex Party concert, which sounds so weird when you try to tell people that. Ninja Sex Party, or NSP, is a comedy band. It's a comedy duo made of 2 guys, one named Danny Sexbang and one named Ninja Brian. I'll find a picture and put it somewhere. And for those of you who don't know, the Danny Sexbang is actually one of the main guys from the YouTube Let's Play group, the Game Grumps. He's one of the main 2 dudes, and so I've been a huge Game Grumps fan for about 2 years now. One of my favorite YouTube channels, absolutely love them, and so through my love of Game Grumps I've discovered NSP. And a lot of the comedy music that they do is just really funny. They also do cover songs that I really love a lot. Danny is very talented as a singer, and Ninja Brian is a very good keyboard player. And they both just have so much personality that like totally comes across on stage. So I went and saw them in Atlanta at the Tabernacle, which is a venue I absolutely love in Atlanta anyway. And it was a fantastic concert. I had a great time. It looked like they really had a good time, and you know, we were laughing and having a good time because so much of the music is super comical. They also had the like video game comedy group that they do, which is the 2 guys from NSP plus Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps, the other main guy from Game Grumps, and it's a band called Starbomb, and they basically just do video game comedy songs, which was a lot of fun because I basically got to see both of the Game Grumps like live, which was like I was totally starstruck, to be honest. They had a group from Toronto open for them, which is a band called Twerp, Tupperware Remix Party, who I never really had listened to before, but I definitely am interested to check them out a little bit more now because I actually really like their music because it's a lot of like 80s synth rock, which I actually really like, with like a techno sound to it, so definitely interested to check them out a lot more. But the NSP concert was just super awesome, super amazing. You know, if you're a fan of comedy music, you know, The Lonely Island, Tenacious D, Flight of the Conchords, Weird Al, those kinds of things, I encourage you to check out NSP because they're just a lot of fun. Alright guys, so that was my May basically. I'll have my May wrap up where I talk about all the books I read coming in a few days, so keep your eye out for that. But you guys should let me know down below what you guys did in May, you know, what you did, what you saw, what you listened to. I would love to hear all of that, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!